firstly, I would like you to tell me a little bit more about yourself. Who is Khanyisa? Where are you from? And yeah, a little bit background.
Okay, Khanyisa is actually born in Kayamandi. I'm from here in Stellenbosch. My surname is Mhlakaza. I grew up in one of the hostels as a young lady with my dad and my mother. But due to, most of our families, they suffer domestic violence. So my mother decided to return back to Eastern Cape due to that. And I was left with my dad. So I grew up and did my primary in Kayamandi. It was still a primary and a high school then. And I did my high school as well there. And, growing up and not under the full household and stuff like that. So as a young girl as well, I happened to suffer a bit of teenage pregnancy. So I was doing my grade 10. And however, I did not stop because for me, education has always been a key. And I think I'm the only sibling in my family that pushed beyond, the obstacles and whatsoever, and the consequences, of course, that I suffered. And so I did my high school in Kayamandi. And during that time, I think in the 90s, we only had one white female teacher or two, and she was a very old lady teaching home economics. And that's where I developed the passion for tourism and hospitality. I used to see magazines. She used to bring magazines at school and show us how to cook. And I remember I was surprised on making a grilled chicken because, in our culture, you just put it on water and salt and that's it, that's food. And so, yeah, my interest grew from there. So that's how I pursued my career in hospitality and tourism. I'm a mother of one son. He's currently 21, turning 22 in November. And I'm also raising 3 more sons that are from my late sister, my sisters. So I'm actually a mother of 4.
How did you get into tourism? You said that your interest started when you were introduced to the lady that you mentioned, and it started where you were cooking and you were learning so much more. How did you get into tourism, and tell me more about your job?
Well, when I passed my high school, I registered, I did application with CPUT. It was still called Cape Technikon at the time, to do my course, and it was a national diploma. And so I did in a hotel school, which is in Grange Bay in Waterfront. And then I graduated and then and then I had to return back to Stellenbosch. And my first job at the time, I used to work in one of the hostels in Stellenbosch under FedEx company, cooking for the students of Stellenbosch University. I did that for a year, and then luckily, I happened to join one of the largest groups hotels in Africa, which is Protea Hotels, and that's where I started my career in hospitality and tourism. And so I ventured my career there, and then I decided to go back and do my degree in hospitality and tourism. And so through my passion, I used to I spend a lot of time reading magazines, checking out magazines. One of my best magazines is actually the Getaway one. It shows, throughout the countries and how you can explore and see these things. And it's the passion that I have to meet different people and to see different cultures. I think what's more amazing is when you get to engage with different cultures and from different countries. And so I did not only stop there. After I've worked for almost over 15 years in the largest group hotels, which is Protea Hotels and City Lodge, I decided that I want to travel. And so I've been to working in Pretoria, in Johannesburg, in Mafikeng in Northwest. And then I thought, traveling and tourism is large. Why not explore? And then I started applying internationally. And so my first program that I joined was in Florida, USA. I went there to work as a waiter. And then for 2 years, I worked in the cruise ship, one of the largest cruise ships as well in the world, which is Norwegian cruise ship. Worked for them for 2 years. Then I returned home. And returning home, one of my main reasons to return home is that I've always have this passion to uplift because of my experience throughout the years, tough ones, and I mean very challenging, especially as a woman and a young woman and a single parent, and it has taught me a lot. And so I felt that young women, they are lacking a lot, you know, of knowledge, and more than that, the confidence that they can, you know, there are very limitless possibilities out there, especially in traveling and tourism and hospitality. And, you know, they think that the only jobs that are there is being harvesting in the wine farm or a waitress. And there is more than that. And so I came back home and I returned back to Stellenbosch after 15 years of traveling, and to start something different, something new, and bring about the entire experience that I've learned to my community. And then I came across Nicolette, who is heading Township and Village. And that's where she assisted me also to join tour guiding. So I did a tour guiding course as well. So I'm able to take the tourists around my own community, Kayamandi, show them the local food we do, show them our culture, our tradition, and how we pride ourselves in our culture and tradition. Because people think that tourism, it's only about, you know, Western things and Western culture and modern things, and it's not. You know, it's not. It's about all different cultures being able to engage and share those different cultures to the tourists, because they love it. They love our background. They love our traditions, and they love our culture. You know, they love our attire, the things that we wear, and they actually love the view of our Kayamandi community and the shacks that we live in. So yeah.
Why do you think is tourism important? Why do you think it's important to you and your family?
Sure. It's, you know, what I've learned, actually, you can have all the qualifications, but if you don't have your own personal story, trust me, there will be a bump. It's very important to carry your story, because your background and how you grew up and the obstacles and the problems that you faced growing up as a young man or as a young woman, it's what builds you to be who you are, and that becomes your strength in everything, even in business, not just in personal life and social life, but in business. It becomes your backbone. It becomes your strength to step up the ladder. You know, I've had a couple of positions. I mean, in a hotel chain, I've been to housekeeping, I've been to the kitchen, I've been to front of house, I've led, I've managed a couple of staff members and employees. And it is in that and that passion that actually makes you a unique leader and a different personality.
Tourism is really wide and very huge, so I can understand how you had evolved yourself from so many aspects. I would really like to hear what you would say to women that are currently in the same position, in the same situation like you right now, with us being in lockdown and with all the restrictions over our heads. What would you say to those women to motivate them?
Sure. You know, I'm currently my heart goes out to actually to everyone, not just women, but everybody. But it goes out to young women, because they are the future of our country, first of all. You know, we've got the most beautiful country in Africa, and the African countries out there are looking up to South Africa. And we are the strength as young women. And, you know, I'm involved with persevered training as well. So I usually go there to share my story and teach life skills. And one of the things that I always emphasize on women, it's a skill that is called self-awareness. Don't lose sight of yourself. It's very important. You more than that you think you are worth. You are worth more than anything.
What would you tell, or how would you motivate women in the current situation with lockdown and the worldwide pandemic?
You know, there's one thing that people usually don't realize. It's the skill that they have. You know, your personal skill as a person. And I mean, out of this lockdown, people have been baking, people have been making masks, people have been selling things, and people have been busy on social media. And what I would motivate is that find a skill that you have, find a talent that you have. You know, go. I mean, it costs almost like 100 rand or 150 rand to go and buy flour and mixture of everything to make scones, or make fat cooks, make amagwinya and do the selling, because people want to eat, people need food. You know, people can't live without food. And in your small area, in your street, in your living area, do something, and that's gonna put food on the table. And so, yeah, there is always something to do, and there's always something to think about. And you know, don't sleep, because there is no gain in sleeping. But motivate yourself, wake up and do something.
It is always helpful for us to bring about our voice. And what would you say if you had to speak to the president? What would your message be on behalf of our women in tourism and in this industry? What would you ask him? What would you tell him?
Okay, our industry is it's brutal. It's hard work. You know, and I don't want to run away from that, because it's not easy, and it's not easy to be recognized as a woman in this industry. I mean, in the wine business, it's the same industry. In the hospitality, it's the same industry. We hardly recognized. But I want to tell them to keep your head high up and stay confident and stick to your guts and be strong as possible as you can, because anything is possible. And together as women, don't be a lone person. One hand catches another hand, we can do all together. You know, join clubs, join women club, join community clubs, join all these entrepreneurship. Join them, and you will see the skill that you'll get out of there, the knowledge that you will get out of there, and you will end up being your own business person at the end. It is something that I'm still striving to do myself, because I'm not there yet. I'm thriving to be. I want to be a businesswoman. I want to be able to open my own wine lounge in Kayamandi one day. It's one of my dreams, and I know I will do it. But I just need to keep my head up high and focus. So that's all I can say to women.